Hi guys, and welcome to Secret Graceland number 40. So today's video will be a little different. I've curated a mix of photos of inside the house and outside, of views not typical on the tour. Angles of rooms we don't normally see, items we don't normally see, or behind some little nooks and crannies, respectfully of course, in the order following the tour path. Some of these I took, some others took, but I credit my sources in either the video or in the description box. So let's jump in. First up is this look at the corner behind the front door from Memphis photographer William Eggleston. It shows fan art of Elvis and Priscilla's wedding that has long since been moved and can now be seen in the trophy building. But for a time in the early 80s, it hung behind the front door. Let's continue our look at the foyer from the perspective of the dining room. This picture looks like it was taken from the head of the table looking out towards the living room. This version of the full-size image isn't as good of quality as the cropped version, so let's look at that one more closely. Other than being a gorgeous photo, there are a few things to notice in this look. We can see just a bit of that fan art hanging near the front door, so this is the 1980s. Next, the blue curtains around all three of the doorways. That's how Elvis always had it decorated, and it stayed that way through the early tours. I guess they became an issue being in fans' reach, so they were eventually removed. Moving into the music room, here is a stunning look at the space facing the front of the house. We can only see certain angles from back at the ropes. The curtains are pulled back to let in all that natural light. What's interesting here, and the rest of the house actually, is the mix of time periods. The TV, of course, is from the 1950s. The curtains and coffee table are from the 60s, and straight ahead are some leftovers from the 1970s. That guitar cutout side table and pumpkin-shaped lamp are from the 1974 red era of Graceland. Let's look at a couple of photos from photographer William Abranowicz taken in 2002. Taken in that same spot of the photo that we just looked at, still facing the driveway, this time with the black piano in the room back then. And this time we can see a couple of the phones in here as well. So understated yet beautiful. This looks like a movie poster, I think. Pivoting to the wall facing the backyard, here's a look at this corner that we can't see on a regular tour. Behind the stained glass, hidden from view, is a cabinet with some ceramic on display. Let's move out to the hall and look at a couple of photos that I thought were cool. Looking straight up at the ceiling from the foyer, all the twinkling light and gold spindles, and if you stand just right, you can see up the stairs and get a glimpse of the door at the top of the stairs. I love all the tiny details in the woodwork. So right at the end of the foyer is a coat closet. If we got to look inside, we would see the original blue paint color that covered the living room and downstairs here on the back of the door. My friend took this on a special tour and shared this photo with us. Right next to this closet is the downstairs bedroom that originally belonged to Gladys and Vernon Presley. If you turned to the right, here's my photo of Gladys's actual dresses hanging in the closet. My sweet friend got to walk into the room on her tour and allowed me to use these. We're getting to see this corner of the room and items like the phones that we can't usually see. These blew my mind, and I love taking in the details of these that she took inside the ensuite bathroom, where we get a look at all of the lavender in here, as well as what appears to be old items, like the garbage can and the scale underneath the sink. It's a very cute bathroom. I created a whole video on this very bathroom if you want to check it out. The link is up here, and it's also in the description box below. Let's go out to the dining room where photographer William Eggleston took this photo in 1982 of a planter box or cabinet that used to be in this spot below the picture of Priscilla and Lisa. At this point that this photo was taken, fans could see the dining room, but the kitchen door was closed and off limits. But today we walk past this and go into the kitchen. If we pause just at the kitchen door, we can see something underneath the head of the table that was shown on the Graceland blog several years ago. There is a button that Elvis would push to summon the cooks and the ladies in the kitchen. You would never know it's there, so luckily they posted that in their blog so many years ago, and we can see it if we wanted to crouch down on the floor to take a look. So let's move into the kitchen. There is plexiglass over the oven itself, but below it, this panel pulls out, so here's what that looks like. Let's look at a few more things in here that we can't get a good look at from back at the ropes. If we were to stand facing the kitchen window that once overlooked the backyard, that would look like this. All the old items, decor, and appliances are still there. I found these close-ups on some of the appliances, like the avocado green dishwasher, And on the other side of the peninsula near the back of the door is this trash compactor. Next, let's talk about a new picture that made the rounds pretty recently on the internet. And believe it or not, this was taken in the kitchen. This 1960s photo was up for sale by Rockhurst Auctions of a lady standing in the kitchen. It looks nothing like the kitchen that we know, but this is how it looked before some remodeling was done. I created a whole video about just this photo and all the changes from then and now. The link is up at the top and also in the description box below. The view of that spot now looks like this, and it is nearly unrecognizable. If we were to walk a bit further, overlooking the jungle room but not yet turning into the hallway to leave this room, the kitchen wall is on the left, out of frame. There's a furry bench right below the railing that's also out of frame. And those are the stairs that we ascend after leaving the basement to come back up to the jungle room. The house is kind of a maze, and I know it's confusing to understand the layout. If we were to turn right to leave the kitchen, that short hallway looks like this. Kitchen behind us, jungle room to the left, and the mirrored staircase is coming up on the right. The closed door right here on the right is a small closet with a bunch of dog leashes still hanging inside. Graceland also shared this photo on its blog many years ago. I loved that blog and I wish they still ran it. If we were to take another step into that hallway, here is the view on the left. It is a small bedroom nicknamed the bird room. It's just a small room with an exterior door to the backyard. Turning right, this is what we see heading down to the basement, the mirrored staircase. After many visits, I realized I saw things in this small hallway that I never really stopped and looked at before. Like this framed art on the right-hand side, simple yet cool and goes with the blue and yellow theme. Once you reach the bottom of the stairs, straight ahead is the tiny projector room where an employee is usually posted. It seems that since the pandemic, this room is now open so we can actually get a good look inside. Here is a quick look in there where the painting in the bar is flipped up. This is what it would look like when Elvis watched a movie on the projector screen. From the bottom of the stairs, you head to the left into the TV room, or TCB den as I call it. Above your head in this doorway are these decorative horns. This is the view once you're in that space, with Elvis's music collection on display on the left in those cabinet drawers. I came across this picture a long time ago, and I can't remember what it's from, but it's a look at one of those drawers pulled out to see what it's like in there, as well as more of his own music collection on display. If we were to take a closer look at the right side of the room, there is this record player. In another shot by Abranowicz from 2002, he shows us what this looks like up close. Near the bar, let's look at a couple different views. In the corner of the room, there is this little cabinet area with more decorative horns and skulls set out. These next ones, I crouched on the floor to take, but it's all within the tour area from behind the ropes, and it's not trespassing or anything. Here's a peek behind the bar. Graceland has some medical equipment hidden around the house, just in case. Of course, on this day, the projector room was closed and the art was flipped back down. Looking a little to the left, I believe that's an ice machine on the back wall. Looking more to the right, just a close look at the area between the squishy bar and the bar stools. And then here's a view down over the top of the bar, of course not touching or leaning on anything. There is a fridge or freezer on the left side, and a look at some of the decorative items in the back. So let's go across the hall to the pool room. When we face the left side of the room, this is what you'll see. There's fabric covering every inch of the walls, but this room looked different prior to the addition in 1974. Director of Archives Angie gave fans an amazing peek at the past on a special tour that my friend got to go on. The fabric was pulled apart to reveal a window behind it. This is an opening that leads to the ground level outside the front door, underneath a grate that looks like this. On the back wall, once again, that fabric was pulled aside to reveal another window in this room. This one leads up to the ground just outside the dining room. Are you seeing anything that you've never seen before? Let me know in the comments. Once we leave this room, we walk through a small hallway to go back upstairs. Left to right is the laundry room, and the two bathrooms on the right, one full, one half. Going up the staircase covered in green shag on either side, as well as a window on the left. This is into the laundry room, and it has the same window shade as the jungle room. Okay, this might be helpful to some. Once we reach the top of the stairs, here is where we end up. At the opening of the jungle room, and in the hallway that runs between it and the kitchen. There's the kitchen window on the right. Here is another angle of that spot. You can see the stair rail at the bottom, The jungle room is behind us here, and there's the kitchen straight ahead. Another in that same area, giving us a broader view of all of these rooms that we can see around here. I hope this was helpful to see a range of angles in this area. I know this spot used to confuse me. When we stand at the cutout and observe the jungle room, we can see some of Elvis's phones across the room. A friend of mine took these next two photos from inside the room of the green phone. This was a regular landline. This still has the slip of paper in it of the phone number, 901-332-6122. If we turn around and look at the cutout in the wall from inside the room, there's something here that us fans behind the wall can't see along the regular tour path. My friend also took this photo of the wooden clock that hangs above it. I believe the numbers are coins. Lastly, let's look at a view from inside this room that we can't get a good look at unless we're standing in the room. This is another photo from William Abranowicz of some of the furniture on the sun deck staircase side of the room. Between these two velvety chairs is this side table that until I saw this photo, I had no idea it's in the shape of a llama. Now, let's walk down the hall to the former garage, aka the Annex. It's changed purposes over the years, and if you want an overview of Graceland's Annex, I created a video all about it. It's in the link up here, as well as the description box below. These days, the Annex is a VIP lounge. It's just a large room with bench seating and a few small display cases. Here's my photo from inside of the original door. This door leads to the hallway that runs along the jungle room. If you walked out of this door, the jungle room would be ahead on your left, with the kitchen ahead on the right. We're going to take our tour outside and go all the way inside the racquetball building. Here's a backwards look at the front door that we enter to walk into this space. Behind us here is the upper workout level of the lounge. There's a small closet by the front door that an employee told me they keep cleaning supplies in. Now here's a view from inside the lounge area, looking at the tour path that we follow. We walk past the bar and locked door. Did you know that's a small half bathroom? Here's a view of it from the late 70s from the book Inside Graceland by Meghan Murphy. It's got some cool shiny gold wallpaper. Originally, the racquetball building held a track on the roof. Something that we don't see today, or ever, is a view from the top. The track is no longer there, but fan and collector Fred Whobrey was able to go up there in the 1980s and kindly shared his photos with us fans. Here is his photo of the open door at the top, as well as a view from the wall overlooking the carport, which at that time still had a bunch of Elvis's cars set out there. If you're interested in more scoops about the racquetball building, I created a video about just this space. It's a link up here and also the description box below. Occasionally, fans are able to tour the stables. It's something that I've been really wanting to do, but haven't had the opportunity. So here's a look at the entrance to the barn area, where you can just see Vernon Presley's former home on Dolan Drive in the background. I know the back of Graceland is confusing to remember after a tour, so I thought this photo might help. Taken from close to where we exit from the racquetball building and head toward the meditation garden, there's the mansion on the right. To the left, and kind of in the middle of this photo, is the entrance to the trophy building. If you kept walking along the sidewalk and didn't enter the double doors to the trophy building, you'd reach the public bathrooms, which is the chunk on the left with the pointed roof. Usually you tour the trophy building, exit by the pool, and never even see them. That space was the bathrooms near the pool in Elvis's lifetime, or the pool house as fans call it, with the entrance on the left side. These were renovated to create public bathrooms, which are accessed on the right side. If you stood near the entrance of the trophy building, this is a look at that area and the public bathrooms. But again, if you're not headed toward the bathrooms, you don't typically walk on this stretch of sidewalk. If you'd like to learn more, I created a video all about Graceland's pool house. It is again in the link up here and in the description box below. Traveling through the meditation garden, let's look at something that's hidden in the planter box near the exit. The garden walls were built in the 1960s from Mexican brick. Because of that, the word Mexico is carved into some of the bricks. Here's my photo of some of that peeking through. Once we walk out of the garden and down the path to the shuttle, this part can sometimes be a blur. We're walking alongside the trophy building where there is this old broken path, and another one of my photos a little further down the way where we can get a better look at the unique windows on the side of the building, kind of hidden behind this tree. Speaking of different views, have you heard about the new Lisa Marie exhibit at Graceland? It just opened on her birthday, February 1st. It's an existing exhibit that was already at the complex, but it's been updated and expanded to honor Lisa Marie's life and legacy. check that out at Graceland. I know that's something I'll be looking forward to my next visit. I can't wait to see it, but check it out and let me know what you think of that exhibit. And that is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.